It would help if I switched on my camera. All you're seeing is black. There we go. We're on. Happy Wednesday, everyone. I hope you're doing great. Had a great week so far. And awesome week lined up. I don't know whether you read the description of today's stream or not, or I don't know whether it comes through in some places. Today we will be doing some debugging and fixing our open source project, with a Gridsome plugin, and continuing on with our project, trying to push it along a bit more. So, if you're new here, welcome. It's great to have you hanging around. I do these streams every single Wednesday from 6 o'clock UK time. I've not memorized them in whatever it is, the United States. I think it's like kind of lunchtime in like LA. And I'm working on a side project called Selection Track Lists. And this is a big data project, about 19 to 20,000 pages, 10,000 views per month. And it's something which I really enjoy doing. And I'm going through a refactor of the project. It's on version 4 or 4.1, even though we never released version 4 yet. And we're using Gridsome, a kind of static site generator, a pure focus static site generator. I'm currently on Hugo, and I've reached the capacity of what this can do for development side. And I thought I'd try and learn something different, so I'm looking over to the JavaScript scene and seeing what we can do over there. There are some really proper breaking bugs with this amount of data, and it's, I don't know whether this Gridsome will handle it, but I'm going to try and fix the bugs I am finding in Gridsome and make my project work. So let's open up my screen. I have this. Let's make it just a wee bit bigger for a screen. This bug I opened up yesterday. I found I use this plugin, which is a Gridsome image CDN plugin. And what this plugin does, it goes to a particular element, a node on in GraphQL, and it goes, "Hey, this field you have, which is like /image.jpg. I want to prefix this with this CDN which you use like Cloudinary or Imagix, and to put in the particular tags, so you can then configure gimage, a dynamic image generator in Gridsome, to do whatever you want. It'll send those tags to your CDN. And I don't use Cloudinary because I reached the limit of that a year or so back, so I've created my own Cloudinary. I might do a video about that. But I do have a blog post about that. But I do use the same sort of key bindings for that. So this plugin is perfect for the need of continuing the use of that and give me a little bit extra. But I found when I was trying to build my entire site that a weird bug would happen. So we see here this observed error message. A error occurred while executing a page query on the track. Could not replace on undefined. So when you try and call a function on undefined, it's going to give you a type error. And it's telling me something about artwork. So I had to do some debugging, and you can see here, it's like, in execute queries, it's trying to do something and it's falling out. And after identifying the particular bug was with my input data, which I didn't really clearly explain here. I explained in the title, when source field, which is this one, happens to be undefined or null in the document, it'll come up with this error. And I did some more debugging about this, and I was able to replicate it. And I found a workaround is to make an empty string in your load source. So you can work around that today. Get each of the collections, and in my case it's a track. Go for each track, and if the track artwork doesn't exist, then set it as a empty string. It can't be a null and it can't be undefined. So I set it as an empty string in this case. But I want to make sure that other people don't fall into this horrible unknown. It doesn't really tell you where the error is happening. So I have a bug fix, a proposal, and I've asked the maintainer of the project, does this solution sound right? And shall we check for null strings as well and return a null, and so that our components can handle this is null. So then we won't display a image or try and get something from the CDN because it's an empty string. And I've got the grace from that. So let's go ahead and fork this project and make this bug fix. So I need to go and fork it to my own repository. I'm using a dark theme on GitHub. I don't know whether I like it or not. It's quite polarizing, but I thought I'd give it a try for about a week. So there we go. We got the project forked. I'm going to copy my local version of it. And I need to open up a project directory. So let's go into my terminal and make it a little bit bigger so it makes it a bit more legible for you guys. And I have a open source directory in my code directory, and in here I have just a few different repositories which I've worked on. And if we clear that, what we want to do is git clone this repository. And my mind went blank then. It's git clone or git checkout. I get those ones mixed up every so often. That's my dyslexia playing in. So now we can go over to Gridsome plugin, CDN, and we've got our plugin here. And we'll open up this in code. So let's do that. Unfortunately, there's no unit tests on this this bit of code, and I don't like not having unit tests. I don't know. I could try and patch in unit tests into this somehow. But I think that's a separate commit than my bug fix. So this bug fix is going to be very easy, and it'd be fine. So we want to navigate to the area of concern, and I think it was around, it's Cloud Canary transformer, and it might even need to be fixed on other transformers, so I'll check that over. And remember, I identified it around the resolver. Oh, unless this is the wrong project. Have I lost my marbles in this? Oh, no, it's not even on the transformer. I'm in the wrong file. It's in the server. And it's here. So what happens when this particular bug happens, we're saying, hey, the source field, we want you to resolve on this. But source field is null. So I have a feeling that if we put in a checker, we won't go into this transformer at all. We will just return back null because we are null or undefined. So I guess it will be parent, and we'll follow the same sort of format as this. So if parent source field is undefined, we'll just return the null, because it's going to be undefined or null. I think that's okay. Or if we have source field, but its length is empty. Well, no, its length is 0. Again, no. So this will count for those both cases. And I want to put in a little bit of documentation for that as well, because it'll be nice to tell the next person who comes along this project why this line exists. So returns null if source field is undefined or null, avoiding I think I'll just keep it with that. I think that makes reasonable sense. So that's a simple one-line fix, and I think I might be able to test this locally, but I already did that. Because Gridsome's project is untransformed JavaScript. You can make changes in your Node modules, and it works. So I tried that yesterday, and it worked. So what do we do now? We make a commit. Git status, git add Gridsome, and we want to commit. What's our commit message going to be? It's going to be a bug. We're going to add in a bug emoji. I use Gitmoji. If you've ever come across it, let's have a look. Git emoji. If we can spell it right. And it gives you a whole bunch of like reasons of why get emoji. It's git emoji. I'm on the wrong git emoji. There it is. Gives you reasons like I fixed a bug or I deployed some stuff with the rocket. So it gives you a visual indicator of the reason of the commit. So you can quickly scan through them and see what the reason for the particular commit was. So we're using that's a test tube. I want to fix that one. It's this little furry bug. Fix is what number was it? It was we had an issue open. So go back over to our number 20. Actually, I'll put that into a separate line if I can remember how to do that. I think it's like this. No. I've completely forgotten how to get in this is not looking good, in the command line. So fix bug when source field is null or undefined. Put in two lines, fixes number 20. Oh, what? Fine. I think it's because of this double line change or something like that. Or ew. Let's try again. There we go. I don't like that. Git there's a bug up there on my wall. I think it gets squash interactive, and you want about one head to 1 to fix that. Usually I just use tower. I was trying to be smart for a second and it's just not happening. Let's fix that history. If I can. Can I rename it? Okay, gonna have to Google this one. Git fix commit message. Actually, there is one way I can fix it. Just using the amend. And what I wanted to do is just grab this into the new line like that. And throw that. There we go. And git push origin master. I think it's master, yep. Now we head on over to GitHub. Hopefully this would have been updated with the issue here. And we can create a pull request from this after just checking over that it's doing what we want. Because there's no unit tests, my confidence level having to check over it is low. And I don't know how I would write a unit test without having to throw in another commit into this. Well, anyway, I think I'm okay with that. So usually it's the ability to open up a pull request. Yes, that's the one. Because it's dark mode, everything looks like it's in a different location. Make that, fixes that. Because I've already explained the bug in that ticket, I think that'll be fine. There we go. That's how you commit a very simple open source bug fix. And in a few days' time, the owner will either accept that commit change and put it into master, or ask me to change something more. And close down that. Let's continue on with some other things. So let's change project. Here we are. So if you was here last week, we were doing a transition to Gridsome from Node.js. Node.js was a bit overflowing for our needs, so we're pulling across some of the easy hanging fruit and speeding along. We actually got a lot done within the time last week, so we're going to continue on with that. And a good thing about code, you can run everything in line like this. So I can just run the build, the develop. We're using the subset to make things a bit quicker. I can use a full set in development mode, and it takes about 40 seconds for it to build the GraphQL, and then I can navigate and it uses a good set. But build at the moment takes 15 minutes and then it fails. So I don't want to subject you guys to twiddling your thumbs for 15 minutes watching it to come to a failure. I'm gonna have to work through those bugs at a different time to understand why the full build is failing, and see if we can put some more open source contributions. Now our project should be on 8080. Brilliant. If we go over to track lists, and I think our episode number 395, we have our content happening here, which is brilliant. I'm going to open up our previous Nux project, which is V4. I'm going to start pulling across some features. I want our episode page today. I think that's good. We want this to look like it was a while ago, and I haven't got an example to show, unfortunately, because I'm not bothered to boot it up. It takes 2 minutes to boot. So if I'm right, it would be pages, episodes, slug. And it's this which we're going to start pulling across. And it should be relatively easy. We go into source, we go into templates, the episode, and this is what we play with, which will generate all of this. And I want to create that file. It's asking me about this jsconfig.json, and I have one. Here we are. And what is it? jsconfig.json in here. JSconfig. There we go. It's got a bit warm now. I think my heating it's clicked in and clicked out. And what this JS config, I think it's for the Vue to understand like the IntelliSense. It's going to look at different directories, and you're telling it, don't go into these directories. There's nothing interesting for you there. You're going to waste a lot of time. And I want to add in content full in there too, because that's a big directory. We don't want it to go into there. But also tell it interesting paths and maybe the rewrite paths to understand, I need to rewrite this to that from my understanding of what Vue does. And that will show up the warning each and every time I open up the project. I don't need this, can hide a panel, brilliant. So Gridsome's on the left and the Nuxt version is on the right. We got quite far, but it was getting very, very difficult, as in how we were modeling the data. Gridsome seems to handle that better. I might step one further out and have a GraphQL server and deal with that. But we will see where we can get with Gridsome. I like the process of how Gridsome's happening. We want to pull most of this across, like almost line by line, and see what happens. So I think the first ideal is this wrapper. So I want to pull this down here. Can run a formatter. It's got a few classes in there. I want to actually also cross compare it with another page which we did last week as we're setting the page up, because this line should be the same, and I might even make a layout which is shares this functionality, so we don't have to write this section in each and every time for these samey pages. We have episode hero and track list. Let's start off with the episode hero. So we've got to bring this across. Episode hero.view. Let's have a look, see what we did. Come on, there you go. Yeah, that's it. Episode hero. And it's the artwork header with a few bits added to it, and I think it's processing some data in there. So we'll work through this through today. There'll be some parts of it which I think will not happen or work in its perfect case, but we'll make those small changes as and when. So the first thing is we're seeing this page being passed through, and I need to okay, it's a document. And I think episode hero, and it's the episode we want to pass in, the full page episode, which is all of this data, and then we can do the process on it. So then stop this weird naming and pass through the actual episode. We need to set up a JavaScript. We're using the composition API here. I like it, but I don't know whether it's going to cause us more problems down the line with Gridsome at the moment. So I'm going to hold off for now on this one. Maybe convert it back to Vue 2 using the options, I think. Maybe. We'll see. But first, episode. Check. Yep, the volume's still working. And this is a type of object. You have to set a default. You set a function like that. So that's set up. We're passing it in. So this page now becomes episode. And this Nux content doesn't work yet. We'll figure that one out in a little while. I've not yet done like the conversion of Markdown content to HTML in Gridsome, but I'm pretty sure it's totally possible. And it's going to instantly complain about us with the play episode. We'll do that in a while. What we'll do is we'll set up a placeholder for it. Methods. Because definitely that's the whole reason why I'm doing this rebuild is for that one feature. And we'll at to do. And what else is there? It's the track summary, and it's that's a computed. I think we're passing in the sessions. So yeah, we'll make it as computed, and it will pass over to another attribute. But I'm going to, for now, just as a return as a empty string, so we can get this open and running okay. And it's expecting transcoding, so I'm assuming that's going to come through somewhere. And then this is going to say, hey, transcoding, do the thing with make play any episode. And the highlighted live from location. So that's going to be computed. Let's return live from, it's going to be a literal. I'll leave it as blank for now. And this one's going to be at to do. What else is there to get it? I think that looks like it. Oh, let's import this. So import that from components. I think it's in the same directory. Artwork header. Yeah, there it is. Cool. Let's give this a try. See if this actually boots up. JavaScript. Import episode hero from I think it's like this. Components episode hero. And we need to components and pass that in. I think we need to do the same on this one as well, down here. Artwork header. Let's have a look. Refresh. Failed. It complained at something. So we need to restart the server and see why it failed. Hopefully it's... Ooh. Doesn't like that one. Oh, it's already in its own directory, so it's of course going to complain. There we go, fixed. Refresh the page and nothing. Well, of course, because we didn't use it. Did we? Well, yeah, we did actually. So, to make things easier, let's disable our testing set and instant fail. Why? That's well unexpected. How rude. it failed with segregation fault. Gridsome node. There's an open issue on this starter default. Is there any other ones? Gatsby has segregation fault. I guess it's something which I just happened to deal with. I can't dig into that today. Okay. Oh yeah, that's right. Because episode is undefined. We do have page query, so this will be page episode. Passing that data in. Win. Yes. And the artwork path. We pass in that. This artwork should theoretically be showing okay. But I think we didn't. I'm confused because we should. Let's go to the tracks. This should have image. It's definitely got the wrong image. It's just because of the blank string. Oh, because I was testing the blank string, and this is what happens when the blank string happens. Is it's just gone to my server and gone, well, that matches. And just found, because my image processor it tries to match to a prefix instead of to a specific file, because it's / and nothing. It's just found the very first file in my file server and gone, here you go, we found something. Because it's not very specific. But that should be different on this one. This image should be showing. Ooh. Nothing, nada. Let's have a look-see. Maybe if I just keep this quiet down here instead of hiding it, it keeps its server alive. There we go. No wonder why it's not displaying, because artwork. We're not asking for it. You pass an artwork and voila. And to make this, I think I needed to also bring in a configuration. Yeah. So at the start of the stream, you see me fix this plugin. And I don't need this one actually. Boop, boop, that's gone. This plugin. And I use this to just basically prefix to my file server so I can handle these images nicely. So I'm going to grab that, duplicate it. But instead of using track, we're going to use episode. And it's going to be like for like. I probably could have just... yeah, that's fine. When I restart the server, clicking on this, restart task. This should still work. He says, fingers crossed, hopefully. Because the content, artist episodes 395, and it's going with that and prefixing it. And there should be no change. It's great. But he says no change. I think our artist header did do some work, but we didn't send it down a different path. It's going down this artwork URL, and because it's done some work previously, is not using this secondary flow. It's actually already set it up with the things. I hope. So then I can give it a few different commands to set it to its own size. But I'm still playing around without that plugin. So I'm happy with that. We want the hero. There was this track summary. And if I'm right, in our other version, track summary, use summary, it was a computation. And it goes through all of the sessions or chapters and finds tags, like if it's got an interview, and translates them down. It gives us a particular key for it to display out certain things. I think it might be ideal to add that in. So let's have a look, see on Gridsome. Come on, Kyle. Gridsome. Go on, plugins. And we want i18n. This should be the right plugin. Yeah, it's using the correct plugin. So I have a feeling it should be as simple as grabbing this. And the thing about Gridsome, it adds it as a runtime dependency, but we don't need to. If we add it as a dev dependency, as you see when I type this in, we just add on D to that. It still handles, because when we're building it, we're in dev mode anyway. It's not a dependency for the application to run except from Vue.js or any other things which we want on the cloud, on the actual application when it's deployed. So this is a plugin. It's server side. It happens at build time. So that's why I put it into the correct bucket. So when we go over here, these are dev dependencies, the plugins. And when it comes to actual core dependencies, that kind of makes sense in my head anyway. Instead of having all of these as dependencies, that only happens in dev mode. Doesn't really matter anyway. It's each to their own. So I need to restart our server again. Has it done it? Restart. That's not going to do anything because I need to configure. And what I'll do, I'll bring our i18n to the top. How I structured these plugins is like easy configurable ones like Tailwind CSS or styling things at the top. Next will be the language, the i18n support, and then after that will be content and content manipulations. You can see here the CDN and file system. So I'm going to use Gridsome, and I've forgotten what its name is, plugin i18n. Let's have a look, see options. We have our locales. We only have one locale at the moment. And we'll have our yes. It is like the audience is mostly United States, so probably would translate it to the US version of locales. And yes, I do want to use JSON files. I think that would be a better use. I don't know what this path rewrite. I don't know whether this is going to like rewrite the path and put en at the front of everything or not. Might not want that. As a default, I'm going to bring them in and we can play around with those. And we only have a couple locales. Well, only one. But the reason why I use a locale is if we go back over to our Nux version, never remember where I put the. Where did I put the translations? I put them somewhere in a document and I've completely forgot. I think they're in here. Yes, they're here. So our messages, you can see here, this is what we're working on. And if it's a solo session, it'll be a number of tracks. If it's a session with interview, number of tracks with interview. And the reason I want it is then we can deal with I've completely forgotten singletons and plurals in a very easy manner like this. And same here, we got no track appearances, so one track on a show, if that's very rare, or multiple track appearances. Handling pluralization is one of the biggest features, which I try and use it localizations for. And the kind of convenience of having one simple key for it to handle a bunch of text, where I'm having to inject pieces into that text. I think it's ideal to have that in localization. Ideally, each and every single piece of text in your application, if you do item first, it'll make your job much easier in the future. So let's go in enus. And path aliases. I think this is the U. Yeah, I don't think I want to use these path aliases. I don't know. I want to see what happens though when we do put it in. So we define that. Oh, it's a object. That's why. And messages. And a great thing, it's going to require in this JSON objects. Beautiful, I like that. enus. Can I? Yes. Source locale enus JSON. I need to create that folder. Locale. Yeah. I like that it's got the Google Translate folder icon for that as well. Oh, it's gone. I think I need more in there, and it'll pick itself up. So add a new file. Oh yeah, that's why. Delete that. New file. enus JSON. Yay! I like that. I like that a lot. And we're going to bring episode, and we need to make it JSONify. Let's just wrap it around. Yeah, that's decent. It doesn't like the single tick, so let's fix that. This is much cleaner. I like this. So that's important. That I want to restart the server again and see what happens with our default. I have a feeling it's going to put /en and then our page. I don't want that because that's going to mess up everything. So I think the rewrite default language might have a configuration. I probably should have read this. Default locale uses pages path without locale in it. Enable rewrite. Automatic rewrite using Vue router. And I guess it'll. Yes, it has, and I don't want that. False. Restart task. This is going to 404 on me now. Once it's loaded. Come Come on. Yeah, we. I was expecting to do 404. How about this one? Okay, so it has them both. And yeah, I understand that because this path alias, we don't need it for EN. One last restart of the server. I'm having a feeling that this is it. We don't want EN because our default language will be English. I might put in support for Japanese and French if someone's willing to translate the French for us. Because we do get people from around the world on the project. Let's just restart it and EN. Let's see if that exists. Good. It doesn't exist. The reason why I don't want it to have that in the same location is it'll build the site twice. So it'll take twice as long to build the English version of the site. And the build of the site takes 15 minutes. So it'll take 30 minutes to build the site on Gridsome as it currently stands before I fix whatever bug that is. And I don't want that. Ideally, I wanted to build a site within seconds. But it is where we are right now. So let's go back over to our component, which is our hero header. And I need to remind myself what we were doing with the hero episode hero. Track summary, use summary. It's this computational. And it's probably not the correct way to do it, but it's a way. So I'll probably keep with that. Computations and use summary. It's probably the absolute wrong way. The reason why I did it like this is because I didn't want all this logic sitting in here. I wanted to bring it out and just pass in certain things and then calculate that. Just kind of clean up the code a bit. And yeah, let's rock with that. That should be fine. All that fine, maybe? If we bring in import use summary from, we drop down a level, go into computations, and I probably spelled that wrong. Computation. Oh, compositions. Would help if I use the correct terminology. Compositions. Let's grab that compositions. Grab that in. I should be able to go use summary and then pass it the this.i18n as a i18n to pass in. And I should be able to pass in the sessions, which needs a slight rewrite because we're using. What are we using? Chapters. My brain's not working today. I need to get that checked out. Is there anywhere we can get your brain checked out? This episode. Chapters. I'll pass through the chapters and we need to make that change. Chapters reduce, chapters reduce. Solo session, multi-chapter. I want to go over to our localization and fix those because they would be different as well. I'll make it as a single chapter. And multi-chapters. I need to change both of the, change them both like this with interview, because we append them together if there happens to be an interview, so it creates them dynamically. We have a bug. Undefined length of undefined. Tracks. Markers. It doesn't even use that. What does it? Oh, we pass it through options and then use the correct terminology. Are we there yet? Nope. I'm wondering, it's not very descriptive, like length, but I have a feeling it is like either that one or this one. One of these is saying, nope, I do not exist. So I'm going to just quickly check that our pages, nope, not the right one. Our template, episode, we get chapters and we get markers. So yeah, we have the markers coming through and the chapters coming through. And did we save it? Oh, there we go, we fixed the bug. And it's going episode single chapter. And that should be translating using this. Can't find key, episode single chapter, string function. Episode single chapter. Let's restart the, it might be because when the server starts, it loads them in and it doesn't restart the server. I really would like Gridsome to restart or redo those sections on those plugins. I kind of get the gist that because the plugins happen in sequence as you're going through it, you can't just kind of hot load parts of plugins. I mean, 58 tracks, and I forget which episode has interviews on. We haven't got this all episodes tracks. No way! No, I don't want. Aww. I don't like that. What's happened, Kyle? So our root episodes page is trying to load itself as an episode, but it doesn't. It's trying to load the template of episode for that page, but it's not the right template to load. Maybe episodes view. We add one in. There's a seg fault again, because we created that file. Duplicate key. I know. I think I know why that's happening. Let's put in a template and hello world, episode world here, and we need to wrap that in a div because that's how Vue likes that. Where I think that's failing is here. It's trying to do the index, and I'm going to remove that. Oh, it'll treat the index. It'll treat that as an index, and I don't want that. So maybe I need to put in the .markdown there, index.markdown. Restart the server, and I'll go to the Explorer, and we'll start digging around and see duplicate queue for episodes. Thanks, Gridsome. Ruined my day now. File system. It expects an array, so maybe that's why it's going. I don't know how to do that. So either it goes by the file name or file name and extension. We'll figure that one out in a second. If we get to build and it doesn't complain, it didn't complain. So I think that's fixed it. We should see hello episode world. Yes. Yes. Great. The reason why I wanted this is I wanted to quickly go through the episodes which we have, and it is to get to that point maybe by the end of this stream. Page query, and just display all episodes. So I think it's like this. I forget how I'm still new to this page query attribute. We want all episodes, and we just want the title and path for now. It's complaining. Oh yeah, all episode. And I need to fix that like that. Did I crash it? Yee. Where's our link to Explorer? Let's figure out how this all episodes, all episode. You go away. Oh, it's edges, node, title. Don't want to save. I want this. Yeah, that's what I want. So I'll grab this, plunk it in there. Now we should have a div. Inside this div, it will be a v4 episode in page episodes edges node, and the key will be episode ID. We want to bring that ID in as well. We'll use our glink and close that off. This will go to episode. We'll pop in the title here. Popping over to our episodes page, we should see a whole bunch of links to episodes, or not. Nada, nothing. How come? Edges. Right, got you. Edges each. I'm gonna have to do episode, and each one of them got to be .node like this. there will be a nicer way to do that, I hope. As I'm still learning Gridsome. Now, come out of this, don't like that. And then it's layout. Wrap it around the layout. Boom. Come on, there you go. Gives us our header footer. Now the JRock one, brilliant. All tracks. Yep. And this one here with this should be across 2 sets with an interview, because there was an interview in that set. I love how snappy this is as well. The image server takes a while for images which hasn't been loaded in a few days. But yeah, I'm loving that. And that's an anomaly. That's our index page. Want to exclude that. And let's go to our playground again. Let's see. Sort by date. Is there a date in there? Oh, I need to check again now. Episode has a date in there. It should do. Yeah. That'll be a sort by date. Oh, it needs to be a string. It was sort by date. Don't know why that one's in there. And what? This all day. Do we have to bring back the date? Oh, that's interesting. That's not a date. I think there's a bug in some of our data, which I'll need to fix. I think what happens sometimes, I will open up that one and I'll show you why that bug happens. So what episode was it? It was let's go for this episode 437. That's our date. And let's find one which does look like it's right. No, episode 7. What's the difference between 437? Side by side, looking at the date row and the date row. One of them is a JSON string, while the other one's a date. So if I fix it like that, don't know if it brings the data in straight away or not. Yeah. Our 437 is fixed. Now I don't know how much data there is in my database which yields to that incorrection. $10,000 files. Most of it's on the last played at. How about we search the episodes? There's a whole bunch of episodes which have around the 400 mark onwards, including the latest episode, which have that error. I wonder if in GraphQL there is a date type. Have a look, see. Unless I need to bring in like its own Scala or something like that. Date time. Temporal. That's not data, that's date time I want. That's well annoying. In one case, it treats the date string as a time stamp, while in other cases it treats it as a string. So if I go down to this one, wherever it is here, epoch date. That's the, I need to divide by 1000. Yeah, 1st of January 2020, and that's when that episode aired. So it's kind of done it, but it's mixing two different types together. Grr. We'd have a look-see in our data, see how many instances of the 000 we get. All the earlier episodes up until a big chunk. Ultimately, I need to fix that on each instance of date, because we're working with two different date types. One's a string, one's not a string. Another day. I don't want to deal with that today. I don't want to deal with that. I want to make it interesting. We'll continue on with bringing across this nice stuff, because that sets my mind going crazy. What were we doing? We were bringing across each section of this, and we just brought across, wonderfully, components 0, and we enabled this section. The description, I'm not confident yet, so I'll deal with that in a different episode, but we can move that to do. And you know what? I'm going to make a commit. I'm going to make a commitment now, because I think we've put in quite a chunk, and we can make iterations over that. We'll fix that. We brought in this plugin, and we did this. We don't need this. So our episode is starting to fill out nicely. We added a plugin, so we're going to have to commit both the plugin and the lock. And we added an index page for now. And that was my workaround fix for something which we don't need to deal with today. And this is some other workaround fix which I'm dealing with elsewhere. Our locale, we want that, and our compositions. And this will be, let's go right up to the top, construction, because it's still work in progress. And what's this going to be? This is going to be the episode page. Going to commit that. Now we can look at our the rest of the content. What did we do with the rest of the content, Kyle? Back out. We go to our pages, slug, track lists. Episode track list.view. And in this case, we brought in a lot of things. So let's go and keep this open. And oh, that's a nice simple one. Just copy and paste. Our document will be episodes, so we'll pass that through. And that's not going to be the right place. We want to chapter.view. So it'll be like this. And this will be sessions, this will be computed page sessions. Now that's just me being lazy. Episode chapters, like that. And each chapter actually has an ID now, so we don't need to get the index, we can get chapter.id. Like that. So we can drop that. Episode, which we don't really need. Because it's automatically defined for us. So this setup, no longer needed. Don't need to computed. Cool. I think that's all we need to get for this episode track list. And we'll put in a hello world here. And I'm going to pop this over there. What now, Kyle? What's causing this error? Why are we not getting it in? Let's see about... That's our pages episode. Wrong one. Should be singular episode. And we want episode track list like this. And it's going to be a single. And we'll pass in the same data which we have on our previous one. And we need to define a component. And import it. Save, reload. Hello world, yes. It's going nice. Nice and easy. So, chapter, which is the episode session. Okay. Yeah, that's Slugify. That we need that because there's some episodes which we link to are by ID. So we'll pop that in. Artwork, and then we go for the tracks. And we add in some contental fits there. Cool. Let's do that. Not really complaining about that yet. It is nested, so you can just grab that in and bring that back in like that. And you have artwork, I guess. Oh, this is conditional artwork as well. BF chapter artwork. And we want to figure out if we have the chapter. So bring in JavaScript, props, chapter type will be object, and the default will be empty object. If you have the artwork, then we set up the artwork. So path. Path or string? I want to have a look and see. Yeah, it's path. Chapter would help if I spelt it correct all the way through the project. And we're going to pass in the size of 48, which we've defined elsewhere. And I'll probably just like this. And this Nuxt content I need to still figure out, so I'll skip over that. There will be a way. The chapter name. And I'll bring it across. But null it out. And there we go. It's going to complain about the slug because that's not defined. So bring that in, slugify, and it will go computed. The slug. Return the slug. You can see this is like the Vue composition API component, and this is the options API. The same. It's just I think when a component gets more complicated, it can be a bit difficult to read. And I don't know whether the composition API will become default, but I can mix and match as I wish. This chapter, because that's how it's defined on there, dot name. And I need to bring across the util slugify. And it's the same slugify regex which I built and used on the inception of the project, so it's got the same path coming through. So it can generate them. Because I didn't add in the slug into the content. I might go back hard code it so I don't have to generate them. So I can change them around in the future. But for now, that's how it is. I'm going to bring that in. And it's export slugify from slugify. I think it's like export default function, and I can do it like that. So I can bring them both in, and they'll both work. Now, refresh the page, that error should be gone. Yep. And if we go to inspect this line, we should have JRock session. I can easily grab this, and I should be able to go boop like that, and it automatically scrolls. So if I scroll up to the top of the page, go to that, and when it loads in, it goes to that section. Good. That's especially for our longer track lists. So we go to episodes, all day 2021. And if we want to jump on down to say the lower one, we jump on down to that set. There it is. It makes it easier to kind of navigate, and I can give this link out and it just goes straight down to the bottom. So that's in. we have this episode track we want to bring in. Which, if I'm right, is in its own defining block. And each one is going to be a track. So this will be a marker. And a V for, and that's going to have to be a full kind of cognitive rewrite, because each marker is its own piece of content, I think. And let's jump on over to our server and see. I'm pretty sure, yes, I added a collection of markers. So marker of chapter markers, and you have a key which is going to be the marker ID, and we'll pass it in, and the rest of this stuff, except from the track number, I could put that into the actual marker itself and save having to calculate it on this side. But for now, I'll pass that in as a calculated on runtime. The other pieces like the queue and the reference, now they're embedded into the marker now. And this is going to be a index, correct that. They're going to be injected, because now if we jump on over to our server, we'll see each of the markers, wherever it is. These are tracks. Here we go, markers. We add in the track node, which has the track title, has the artist embedded in there, and we have the time when it's created, and the source track name is the point of interest as well, the original. We go to our playground, and I grab from the episode chapters, markers, and source track name. You can see that this is the original source, and we can go, I think it's track, and we have to pass in the title in here. We have either it's null, and in the case where on our dummy data we do have one, it'll be populated, otherwise we can fall back. So we will do that. Oops. So let's create that. Marker.view. And because we've already done some of that work before, which is the episode track, it's now a marker. Track row. We reused the track row, I remember that, yeah. And there's some of the bits which we need to pass in. Right, okay. Because we were reusing the content for our ultimate track list, like how many times the track has been played or on a service, it makes sense. But a marker, it has additional content to it. So let's just throw in a template. And for now, this will be marker.source. Have I got it already? This one. Let's close some of these down. Don't need them anymore. Plugin. And Gitmoji. Bye-bye. And it's complaining no markers match. Let's make it happen. Import marker from marker. We need to components marker. You complain? Why? I created you. You are now in existence. Why has it crashed? Yine? Nope. Nope, it's not crashed. That totally should have, like, worked. No matching tag. We're in the same directory. Okay, let's try a different way. Components marker. Okay, I'll restart the server. Maybe it's in a very weird way. And it would help if I had a closing tag on that as well. That's probably why it didn't like that, because there was no closing tag. Great work, Kyle. And now we're getting the refresh and see what a fresh. Do not use built-in. What? Reserved. I didn't know there's a tag. Marker tag. Why is a marker tag? Mark. Fine. Chapter marker. I don't like that. I really don't like that. Let's rename that and rename this. And declare it. Go back to our right page. Markers of undefined. Passing chapter. Episode track list. Chapter. Come on. We should be seeing something in here, and it's generally not happening. Let's have a look at all the data which comes in. Hi, panel. Oh, it's the whole thing is gone. The whole chapter. I'm going to silence this for a second, see if it boots itself and see see what the issue is. So yeah, we got there, and it's property of chapter on not defined, instance is rendered. Would help if I spelt it correct. Cool, we got all that. If we go to chapter, it would really help if I spelt things correct the first time. There we go. Cool. Close that. Get rid of that. They're staring at me right in the face, the error. Now we should not have it. We shouldn't have an error, but we do. Chapter marker. Of course, it's going to complain because we haven't defined it. So JavaScript, we want to add in a prop, and this prop will be the marker. It's going to be the type of object. And the default is going to be a empty object. It'll definitely complain about this when I start getting into the deep stuff. And there we go. We got our starting of a track list. But we wanted to defer this off to a marker row, and then have the ability to add on a bit more metadata. We know one of these definitely is a link. So let's do that. Let's bring over track link, which is marker row, because we want to be able to kind of future think of. It isn't always a track. It sometimes can be a event that saying this is it where interview happens or something, and it's more for the next project. So I'm kind of getting my muscle memory into the kind of objects and collections I'm working with. Oh, HTML, let's bring that in, and JavaScript props marker, and this will be the type of object. Default will be a like that, and we'll do div. And we'll just bring in this source name as well. This is not right. No. Why is it not right, Kyle? Because it isn't. It just is not. Let's try that again. We are passing in the artist, we're passing in the track and the location for it, and we have this queue. It seems like it's duplicate effort. And I want to rename this marker item. Probably don't need to worry. No, because we have tracks, and I want to be able to pass in a track into this. So let's correct that. Let's track, and a track source name. That only happens on a marker. And that's where we have these strings, which are broken up into two sections, which we do on the chapter marker side. But this is a track. This is a singular track row. So, oops. This is now going to be resembling a track item. That doesn't exist, but track title exists, and the artist does. So let's bring those in. Track artist title exist, but we also want to handle fallback options. So fallback, and I think I'll pass in this as an object as well. The default of this object will be artist unknown, and the title, I think you need to, yeah, like that, untitled. So when we pass in a v if we have a track title defined, then we can go for it. And we're reusing the same logic in a way. I think because that's a artwork. Q, this is the artist, and if there's no artist, well, if there's no existing artist, so track artist, we have that, display it, and we can make that a link. We have the to track artist. So if that's defined, then yeah, we have the span v else for that block, which will be the fallback artist, and the same for the actual title, track title. G link. Wrap that. B if track title exists, well, track path, both will exist. The reason why we didn't go too deep onto this one is because it could be an empty object, but we know that artist should exist. And we go to track, allow it, and then span v else, should be fallback title. Want it nice like that. I'll bring across the classes in a moment. So we want a to do artwork and a to do track links, which are possible. Hopefully that works. Of course, it's not going to work in this instance because we've not brought it in yet. So let's do that. Import track item. If I duplicated effort here, that's a track link. Oh, I've already done it. I think I've already done it. Did I generally already do this? I generally have. I generally have already done that work. Track row from let's try that. I think I'm gonna beat myself up now, aren't I? Oops, a bit too big. I don't know what it's expecting when I put it in. Track row. We generally did it. We had it in separately, and we've done some work outside. And I don't know where I've used track row on this project. I made it work somewhere. It's the artist. There is some improvements I can do on that because I don't need to pass in it to verbose like that. But that's. Let's break this down. Oh, come on. Stop it. Clean. Okay. Marker. Track. Artist. I don't. Marker. That's definitely not going to work if. Okay, so we need to do a computed artist. The reason why I need to compute it is return if marker track exists, then return marker track artist. Yeah. And I'll do, I think that's about okay. Oh yeah, it's going to complain about this. Our secondary part is going to be splitting our artist and track name as a fallback. So we did do that on episode track, I think. Yeah, we did a split. I'm gonna do this. Track parts, I think. Let's rock with that. Fallback. That's what I'll do. I'll const that and return a artist, the string, and toggle like this. So I should be able to call for, and that's definitely not going to work. Track marker. Come on, mark. There. I need to jump on over to our playground and grab this source. Like that. Whew. And the track row is going to do artist string and track string. Cool. Artist string, track string. Clean it up and pass it through. Fallback, artist. Fallback, and props. This. Woo! Ish! Ish. Ish. Almost. Tile string. No? No? But why? You should work. Come on. It's not defined. How are you not defined? Please be defined. It's not defined on an instance, but is used, and I do define it, can deconstruct it. Fine. It might be just because of Gridsome's babble or something like that. Parts. Fine. I'll do it the old school way. It was track string, right? Oh, come on. Track row. Find track string. There's a spelling mistake on it. Damn you. Valid link count. Riddles with the bugs. Where is that even defined? Oh, it's... No? Yeah, it would help if I did bring through the links. Yeah, so let's go to episode.vue. Links. And I've forgotten what we got in the links. Markers. Back. Got a title. Links. What do you want? Href. Yeah? No? Yeah, that would help. Yes. Maybe. Href. Provider. Try again. Oh, platform. We're getting there. So we're passing in track string, yes, and check the marker, track string, yes. So why are you not displaying the correct track string? Oh, VF doc? I can bring back this. I want to bring back this. This is got to be title string, artist string, and yes, it would help if I got the namings right. Ah, about time. Any errors? No errors. Good. Whew. Your work. Episode and templates. Artwork. Try that. That's about right, because it doesn't exist and it's trying to do something on it. Almost. Like, that should have worked. Open a new tab. Oh yeah, that's deliberate. That's me testing the failover for this one, for the piece of data. That's why. So let's go up to artist, generate tracks, and tracks this. The reason why it's doing this is because of our area bug fix, and there's our correct artwork. Win. And there's our tracks. Ooh, there's a feature we can put back in. Track link. We disabled this. We can re-enable this. I think. Can we? Hide title. No, that's the wrong one. That's the track link, and it's the track row. Episode track links. Here it is. Boop. Didn't realize I completely just. Yeah, you got no tracks. Expect them to not. Well, I kind of guess on a mobile phone, if you're thinking of it, looking at the device at this size, it's going to be. Let's make it the right correctful. Real estate is very, very small, so that, like, having no indication of it isn't end of the world, because you can go into it and do the thing you need to do on that page. I just did a physical, you know how a computer just like stutters like that when I came to this page of can't render page. That's not giving me a reason why. I don't care. We'll fix that another time. But I'm mostly happy with that. It's been a bit of a start with some of these parts. I'm loving the GraphQL side of things though. That's really helping. But I think I'm going to give it a rest for now. We've been at this for about 2 hours. I'm going to commit these changes and maybe make some changes at a later date. That's this is my track item, which is moved to trash. Because don't need that no more. We can reinstate that, but I'll do that later. That's a decent fix. That's essential. That's of course essential. And let's look for it. And there's no changes around there for this is just checking that. Oh, what really? You know what? I literally just thought of the reason why my build was failing, and because it might have been around that track row could have been causing a failure in this track link, maybe, and not announcing itself. Maybe I'll have to verify that. We'll enable that too. Work in progress. Episode track rows. Yeah. I'm gonna take a break. Well, no, I'm gonna call it for today. I'll do some offline stuff at some point, especially over the weekend. Oh, I got a session on the SoundCloud Discord this Saturday. So if you're on the Discord, check me out there. I'll be after Nival. I'll be DJing live. So that's cool. But I'm done. Until I'm probably absolutely tired. Shattered. So yeah. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for hanging out with me today. I'll catch you guys next week. I like doing these. It keeps me accountable. Most times I'm just absolutely shattered. But we're getting there. Slowly. Line by line, bite by bite. So until next time, I'll catch you real soon.